We'll be honest, the Basque Country wasn't particularly on our radar whilst we were exploring Europe, but that's because we didn't yet know the incredible beauty shielded by this coastal stretch of the Pyrenees Mountains. We are going exploring. You guys are invited, and we are both in for a real treat.
In the Basque Country. It's very green. It's gone green all of a sudden.
And because we've got to drive up hills. Come on, boomerang! No gear, no problem.
The people of the Basque Country, or Basques, are believed to be the earliest human inhabitants of Europe. The region is surrounded by steep, rocky coastline on one side and soaring mountains on the other. Because of this challenging terrain, the Basque Country remained isolated for thousands of years, and as such was very difficult to conquer.
Yeah, into the Pyrenees we go. We got quite lucky coming from France to Spain because it was mostly through a massive tunnel and valleys. And we really, for the most part, avoided the hills. I've got a funny feeling that might not be too possible in the Pyrenees this time. I think that's pretty much most of the gas gone now. A lot of people were moaning that we were doing too much of a good job with the Kombi, that there wouldn't be any problems and dramas on the road, but there's been drama today, ladies and gentlemen. We were just driving along through the Pyrenees, and we just stopped to fill up gas because we were almost out, and I was talking to the lady whilst we were filling up, and I said, fill it, fill the tank. So she's like, click, 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 like really filling the tank, right up the tube. And I was like, yeah, that's enough. If there's any more, it's going to start coming out. And that's exactly what it's doing. We were coming down the road, smelling petrol, and then our noxious gas detector starts blaring like beep, beep, beep. So we just pulled over, and luckily I had the foresight to cut an access hatch in the top of, underneath our bed here, which basically goes straight down onto our fuel tank. I did that way back when we first got our bus in the desert in Arizona, because of exactly this kind of situation. And what had happened is the screws had basically vibrated loose over the last however many thousand miles, and petrol was just flooding out the top. So that was a potential fire disaster, and also obviously it's not good for our fuel economy, or the environment. So I'm very, very pleased that we've got this access hatch, and I can fix that right now without too much drama. Stinky. I can't believe that we almost missed the Basque Country. I thought I was not going to come here, but we're driving through pine forests that just descend down into the North Spanish coast, and it is absolutely stunning. This has to be one of the best drives in the world. It's like driving through an enchanted forest. The coastline is absolutely gorgeous. Did you see that wave? Oh my days. I need to get on that wave. morning from north coast of Spain, Basque Country, Baquio, I think this little beach is called. Bit of weather's been coming in, so got a bit of cloud, but also some sun because it's Spain. Morning, Chica. Pretty good facilities at this place, isn't it, really? Bathrooms that clean themselves, and free water and a dump station should you have black water to dispose of, which we don't. That's why we're going to the toilet now.
There aren't many in Spain that we've seen so far. This is our first one, so
hopefully the wild camping's a bit easier though. I do think that we have chosen the exact perfect time of year to come down to kind of France, Spain, Portugal, because this time of year that we're here is kind of like fall, like all the kids have gone back to school, there's nobody on the beaches. As you can see, it is quite early still. There will be a few people on the beaches later, but pretty much we have the whole place to ourselves, which means we have all of that to ourselves. This is the tail end of a hurricane which has been raging out in the Atlantic. Category 5 hurricane it was for a brief moment. So it's kicked up quite a bit of swell. I've already broken 2 leashes on my surfboard and almost drowned once. I've been having a real ball. It's been a good time. A little bit out of practice with the old surfing, having spent so much flipping time building boomerang. But it's nice to be back on our own itinerary, enjoying the great outdoors and discovering new places. I have to say, I very much like Basque Country. It is absolutely stunning. The pine forest descending down into this just pristine coastline, and there's so many different coves and places to explore. Honestly, you could spend months on this coastline. It's absolutely incredible. I can't believe I haven't been here before. It's so close to Jersey, really. I've got to say secretly, just between you and me, I do appreciate all of the facilities that are available so far in Europe, and being able to park, having a place to park for free. Honestly, I do appreciate it. But a little part of me is looking forward to the part of the trip where there are no facilities and there are no other people trying to explore in camper vans, and we have the whole place to ourselves. At some point on the trip, it will just be wild camping. And that is what makes my heart really sing.
as is often the case with van life, that morning we woke up to a new neighbour. Christine, who was travelling solo in her van from Germany, told us about a site just down the coast that some of you might recognise.
So these are the stairs that I used in Game of Thrones, I don't know, in season 6 or 7, for the castle Dragonstone where Daenerys is living. And in one episode she meets Jon Snow on those stairs and he's like ducking because the dragons fly over it.
So whilst we're hiking up here, Ben is over there surfing, missing out on this lovely view. I'm pretty sure he's having a good time surfing. We made it to the top, and apparently once you get up here, it's tradition to ring the bell 3 times and make a wish. I think I'm going to wish for a safe journey across the world.
Tired puppies.
We pushed west, ignoring our GPS, which was beckoning us inland to a faster road. Here we didn't need navigation assistance as we followed the coast with one eye on the ocean swell. It was time to find another free camp spot. Come on, let's go and have a look. Baha. Apparently we can stay here tonight, but it's a bit busy. I'm not sure if I want to stay here. Looks like there's other people staying here, but still, there's a lot going on around here. It's like we're pretty much on the edge of a city. and I don't think we need to be. It looks like there's a lot going on around here, there's a lot of life. We're pretty much on the edge of a city, Bilbao? I'm not exactly sure how you say it, Bilbao. And there are other people staying here, you can see campers and stuff, but I think there's probably better places for us to be. Maybe we'll have a quick bite to eat and then go find somewhere else. Shall we stay here?
I think we'll do better.
We'll go find somewhere else to stay tonight. The Basque Country has a surprising number of cities and large towns for quite a small region. If you're travelling by your own wheels too, you'll have the ability to easily explore between the population centres and discover your own secret spots, of which there are too many to mention.
This is more like it. We found a nice quiet spot to park and spend the night, and we woke up at the beach and there is hardly anyone here, and we're surrounded by mountains, so this is much better than staying in a town.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to see all of that like life and to be in the city and experience it. It's just not really a great place to be sleeping in your camper van when there's people kind of like coming past. This is much better. Look at this. This one, by the looks of it, is an epic surf spot. It's not on the surf map, so I'm not going to tell you where we are. It's just one of hundreds of little coves. Like, this whole coast is basically a surf trip dream. There's so many famous spots on this. Like, I'm talking like world-class, world-famous waves, but also so many little spots just to hunt out. You just pop your van down a little cove and park there for the night. There's free showers up there, and you've got the beach all to yourself.
Alaska, watch out! Hear my thumb! Every time I put my thongs down to use the camera, the waves come and take them away. Very big waves in this beach. We have been passing a lot of coastal towns on our way through the Basque Country, and they seem all really beautiful, beautiful beaches, very populated, but we have yet to stay and eat at one of them. So today our aim is to go and have lunch, because the Basque Country is famous for the food. The food is supposed to be amazing. Apparently there's loads of Michelin star restaurants. We're not going to go to one of them, but we will go to like a bar and have pinchos, which is famous around the Basque Country. Excited to be tasting some of the Basque delicacies.
It's the sediment basically that's coming down the river which forms the sandbanks out there in the ocean, which basically makes this a really good wave. But now the tide has switched, it's coming up quite quickly and combining with the river, and what was an ankle-deep passage coming across just a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, is now quite wide. Ah, shit. It's coming up real quick, so time to get a scoot on.
Only clean pair of pants.
Well, they're very clean now. Just wash them again. Alaska knows what to do.
For some reason Ben has to wash his hair every second day. I have to wash my hair once every week. Lucky girl. Pinchos time. I much prefer eating pinchos or eating like small, like tapas style food, because you just get an array of different flavors of different foods all in one go, and you don't overfill yourself with an abundance of food. I much prefer eating like this. since being in the Basque Country, we had absolutely no idea what the Basque Country was all about. I didn't know anything about it until we got here and I started researching. And one of the things I learned about the Basque Country that I thought was really interesting was that they have a completely different language, and it's completely different from Spanish.
S03E10. I'm pretty sure that's not the accent. That is Basque, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the oldest languages in Europe and is still spoken through a number of different dialects here in the Basque region, where they favour their own local Basque language over Spanish, which is spoken by the rest of the country. Spanish I can just about get away with. Basque, no chance.
Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating country. So we're just going to like share with you some of the facts that we've learnt since being here. But when we started driving and we came into the Basque Country, we started seeing all the street signs were like completely different. We didn't recognise the language at all.
Euskera is the Basque language, right?
Yeah.
And it has 7 dialects.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest living languages. And also, what is that you're drinking?
Beer.
Yeah.
It's not from here.
Okay. So the Basque Country has their famous cider. I can't remember what it's called, but they also have their own regional drink, which is called Chacoli.
I don't think it's pronounced like that.
Chacoli? That's what he said in there.
Chacoli.
Chacoli. So, which is this nice, delicious white wine.
Is it delicious?
Yeah.
That just happens.
Do you want to try some? Goes well with pinchos, which we're having. I'm going to have one now, actually. These were only €1. What a bargain.
Bargain indeed. Eating is a national pastime. Didn't you tell me that they have a bunch of like festivals or something that's just all about food?
This was the interesting fact. There are over 1,500 secret gourmet societies in the Basque Country. And it's where people go for entertainment, so eating is their entertainment, so they just go and eat basically. And traditionally it was only men that did it, or men that were allowed into these secret societies.
Well, I hope they've changed that.
Today they accept women.
Good on them. Even the oldest culture in Europe has changed its ways to accept women, as they bloody well should do.
So they are the interesting facts of the Basque Country that we have learned since being here. Didn't know anything about this region before we got here. Learnt a lot, and I absolutely love it. And also, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, it may be very difficult to find food here. Like we've discovered, we've tried to order a few vegetarian meals and they've all come with fish. Even the olives are filled with fish.
Whilst I'm going on about, eating too much, and we've gone crazy with just basically gorging ourselves on eating animals, and it's not necessary, and it's just too much, I do stick to that. Like I do feel very strongly about that, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to eat meat, okay? I'm not being a hypocrite right now. I'm just committing to reducing the amount of meat that I eat. I don't need to eat it for 3 times a day. I don't even need to eat it every day. Just reducing the amount of animals that we eat is a step in the right direction. If you can't commit to going full vegan or full vegetarian, I don't blame you. It's difficult when you travel. There's a lot of delicacies in the world that you want to experience, and if you're invited to someone's house, you might want to socialise and partake in the meals and not kind of be awkward. So you don't necessarily have to give up on meat to make a difference. Just reducing the amount of meat that we eat and consciously maybe choosing one day a week, #meat-free Mondays, would actually make a difference if everybody did it. So I'm just gonna leave that for you to ponder.
Yeah.
You can do what you want with it. When a place goes from being completely unknown to one of our favourites, it's always special. The shoulder season was the perfect time for us to visit, with low crowds, pumping surf and warmish water too. For the first time since all of the hard work of building our Kombi, we were starting to find our rhythm on the road, figuring out how to maintain a balanced and healthy lifestyle. We have got more to share about this and more stories from the road less travelled. So until next time, happy travels.